shit, we was just talking. It's been a week, but it's always like every time Friday comes around, man. We got a lot to talk about, by the way, first and foremost. But every time Friday comes around, man, I'm beat down. So I'm trying to. I want to make sure I bring the energy because, like, if I were to talk like I normally am, I'm I'm cooked, to be honest with you. But
No, yeah.
just a lot going on. Just a lot going on.
Yep.
We're busy. Q2.
No, yep.
Everybody's transacting. Just a lot of big graduations going on,
Oh, yep.
and the end of the school year. You know what I'm saying? You just got a lot of things happening right now, bro.
No,
Like
for
a
sure.
lot of.
Yeah, I got a grad party to go to today.
Oh, for real? Yeah,
Yep,
I went to
Jordan.
one last. I went to one last. Wait, what was that last week? Oh, that was my man. Fred Wilson.
Oh,
Shout
yep.
out to Fred.
You
Let me
got
go ahead
masters,
and.
huh?
Yeah, he got his masters. Let me go ahead and tap into the Lakers lounge. Oh, they just went. Oh, I'm letting them know we live right now. Yeah, shout out. just gave Fred a shout.
Yep. Yeah, someone, I literally right before we got on, Big Bro just posted, RJ Barsh just posted it.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we got a lot to get into today, bro. And again, hit that subscribe button. If you're just now watching, if you're just now getting tapped in, hit the subscribe. We got everything from digital asset news to NBA Finals hot takes to
Yep.
business today. We're gonna talk about business and owning the business and the real on business.
Yep.
And then any other things that pop up. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on. There's heat going on in the local football scene with Roosevelt program. Do you see
Oh,
that?
I didn't read the article. I saw some. I saw a
Man,
couple reposts on it.
bruh, that's whoo wee. That's
What happened
heaters.
with them?
Um, well, they got the coach Sam Adams, the coach, former Seahawk.
Uh,
He got basically for recruiting, pretty much. They had
Recruiting
all these
stuff.
kids go in there, and they fined like $2,500 for the athletic department and some other two other parts of the coaches, I believe, something like that. But yeah, it was just recruiting. Basically, they're cracking down in the metro apparently, and yeah, they had like, because I think a lot of them were FSP, and
Mm,
so you know how FSP moves. So I mean, they got hoopers. You know what I mean?
yeah.
When I say ballers, I say hoopers. Um, and so they had a lot of kids, but there's a loophole, I believe, that when you said that you were homeless, then you can play the year that you moved to a school. So
Mm,
so I'm sitting there like, oh, so y'all had like all these homeless like foot dudes that's nice at football and they homeless. That's
yeah.
kind of crazy, but I
I
don't
mean,
know how many there
yeah.
was, but
They have so many
there's
loopholes with, I guess, recruiting. I've seen a lot of stuff with, especially with football recruitment stuff. It's just getting caught, and some of them just pull loopholes. It's I don't know. I mean, they have too much gray area for some of it. It's like some schools are allowed, or obviously because they're private, and then some of them public schools, it's just like they got too many loopholes. Where now it's like, oh, if you have an address right here, it's okay now. So they're gonna try to use the address, or if you didn't have a home, I don't know. I see they let some kids get away with it and some kids not.
yeah, and I think with that whole situation, it it's hard for me to take a look at a public school doing that when you got private schools that can openly recruit.
Yeah,
So if that's
exactly.
going to be the case, then those private schools need to either be in their own league or just and by with that I mean like be in their own whole entire league, because that's not equal, that's not
Exactly. I just
fair
feel
to
like
the
as a
teams that can't do it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
if you're a high school head coach, assistant, parent, booster, like if a player or you're part of another program, like and a player's talking about how he's trying to transfer, do something like you should be able to tell him why did you come to your school. Just keeping it real. I'm gonna keep it real. Like
I mean,
if
that's
a
where we're getting
player's
at
like
with college sports.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I'm
Like
saying?
if a player's like, man, yeah, I'm moving, I'm going over here. It's like, bro, yeah, we need you. Like, you should be able to tell. Like, they got so many weird rules. Nah, man, just let them go where they want. Like, it's not like they're, or who knows? I'll say it's not they're paying them like colleges and stuff like that. But man, let them do what they want.
Yeah, and that's all. I just think that I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I'm not opposed to it, honestly. I think that if a kid wants to go to a school to play a sport or whatever, so be it. If that kid wanted to go to another school for the math program, would we stop them from
exactly.
doing that?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
If it's
Like
bettering
we
if
wouldn't.
it's bettering the kid's future towards where they want to be, I'm for it. Like
I'm
if a
for it.
kid transfers,
That
I'm still. I know Tacoma took some of the old heads be mad. Stay in Tacoma, but until there's a program in Tacoma and someone works very hard to get some of these kids to the next level, Beach has done it every single year in terms of putting kids in the right spot for
mm-hmm.
college.
Yep.
So name one Tacoma kid that went to Beach that didn't turn into a better situation and get what they needed out of it, or even Beach and
It's
Garfield.
hard. It's
So
hard to
he didn't
say.
even even Cam, who just went from Curtis Babs. He comes in here. He's out at Beach now, and
Oh, for real?
and he's
I
what
didn't know that.
6'4", 6'5"
Where's
now. He's
Meach?
gonna be
Where's Meach at? Is Meach still at Curtis?
no that Meach. He's just went to Beach.
Meach is at Beach? Oh wow, that's a.
Yeah, and he's
Woo.
6'4", 6'5",
Hey,
and he's and
that,
track too. He's a killer. Like he's gonna be someone in the next 2 years, man. They're gonna develop him, put him in. I'm excited for him.
hey, Meach is about to hoop at B. Well, I hope you got to get an opportunity, obviously first and foremost, because they got hoopers. But
Yeah.
with Dre back
Mm-hmm.
and Meach, bro,
Yep.
Meach, I played. So I went up to Seattle. We played in the Soto League one time, and I ain't never played with Meach like that before. And bro, when I he was on, so he's on the team. It's me. It's like a couple young dudes, and then
Yeah.
myself, Elijah, and I knew Elijah from Breakfast Club. He went to Foss, and then some old heads. Me and Coach K. Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to Cabre, and yeah, and I was hooping with Meach, and I'm like, yo. I didn't know it was like that. Like he got boosties. I was going, okay,
Yeah.
you're
He
gonna
got
be a
bounce.
problem, bro. He's
and
gonna
he
be a
and he's
problem.
he's a problem in
He's
like the
good.
400, the high jump, everything. Like he's an athlete for sure.
Yeah, he's cold. So Beach is about to reload again, man.
No,
Pause. No,
yeah,
no Diddy. They about to be one of them ones again.
no, for
Uh,
real.
yeah, man. So there's just a lot going on right now, and that was unscripted. Like we didn't go in here
Yeah,
talking about high school, but I mean that's just how we finna do. It's just if something come up, we gonna talk about it. Um, man, I do want to get through some of this script, like because right now there's a war going on. There's bombing going on literally right now as we're in a like I just like before we got on here saw I think I well Israel bombing Iran and then Iran sent two missiles literally back off and I'm like god damn bruh, we don't have to be like the orange man when you put out negative energy in the world and you're sending military presence in your own country on your own soil to cities where there's nothing going on. There's no reason to
yeah,
send a military presence to do mass deportation. It's grandstanding and here's my take on that. I believe that he's creating chaos, which is what he does, to go and do these other things that are happening. And the other things that are happening is what I want to highlight, which is the
hmm
finance markets. There's a bill that he's trying to get passed that has some verbiage in it that basically says that they're going to be able to do whatever they want to do in the courts and nobody can stop them. Pretty much, that's
hmm
layman's terms. So while we're over here looking at ICE and detaining people and all that, which is rightfully so, it's bullshit. They're trying to get this bill passed that has some bullshit in it that we're not paying attention at this time, and a lot of and even the senators aren't paying attention because that's what he does. He creates chaos, and then over here he's gonna slip some shit in there, and then also they're running the markets up, and I'm like, bruh, like I just I see it now, man. It's so predictable, and I'm just like, damn, bro. Like, so anyway, yeah, that ice shit is bullshit though.
Yeah, with
And
with all the ice stuff, I like I said earlier, I'm not someone that likes to watch the news or even be like
mm,
watch it too much. But in terms of everything they're doing, like what is the point of sending Marines out and all the mass? You know what I'm saying?
like
I seen that like hold on, like
they there is no point. Like, and here's the thing: is like the ICE actually hasn't existed that long. Hey Ma, you know the joint by Cameron? That's older than ICE.
Okay.
Jay-Z's The Blueprint album is older than ICE. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So
It,
ICE isn't that old. It was brought in with after the two that the whatchamacallit, well, we got attacked, right? Brought in after that to just make sure that immigrants are going home or whatever that aren't here and they're on their last deportation notice. Like, all
mhm.
right, cool. You want to be on your last notice? All right, we're gonna. But it ain't here for like going into churches and buildings and doing mass
That's what I was.
deportation. That's not what they're here for. That's not the job.
Okay. Yeah. That's what. When I saw that, that was because I was watching on the news on dude, my tattoo artist. I was in the shop on Monday actually, and he had it
Yeah,
on, and that was I was talking to him about it, and that was my take on it because I was like, I don't really get this. I was like, why the hell are they going in schools and going in random places and taking random kids? Because I get in terms of I don't want to say I get it. I get if when I went to China, I did not think about overstaying my visa. It was like
yeah,
I need to get mine restarted, or
yeah.
they tell you prior like the consequences. Like no, you're not, it's not a little slap on the wrist. You're getting sent home type stuff.
Hmm.
So like when I first seen it, I was like, are they specifically trying to look for people that are overstaying their visa? Or are they just trying to get
Nah,
every single person? You know what I'm saying? Like
they
you
trying
guys are
to
getting people
create
that like
fear and
actual
division,
workers and
and
like yeah, I feel like they just they try to tell you this what it is, and then they go the extra mile. Because I was seeing stuff about them going into like little like middle schools and shit. Like
yeah, I've had experience with that when we were at
okay,
Foss in 2000. He did this last time, so I'm saying like this ain't new. That's why I'm saying like I see the play. You're doing this so that you can divert attention and create chaos, so that you can get this bill passed, so then you can now run it up. And that's what the whole point of this podcast too is, just making sure that we're keeping our eye on the ball. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because a lot of times we get so stuck fighting oppressors, the
hmm
white supremacists and oppressors, that we're not keeping our eye on the ball in terms of finance and keeping in tune
yeah,
with like the changes and how we take advantage of them and we move forward. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hmm
because they want to keep us oppressing us basically, and of
hmm
course we should be like we should be worried about that, and our energy should be there. I'm not saying it shouldn't. I'm just saying I'm seeing a play and I'm like, well, somebody's got to be over here in this space watching all
yeah,
this too, because they're getting over on us like
yeah,
in real time. And by us, I mean black and brown people, Hispanic people, indigenous people, black people, Japanese people, Asian people, uh, API people, you know what I'm saying? Like Samoans. It don't matter who you are, Cambodians. I don't care. Like anybody that's been oppressed in this country that's not white, any non-white member of this country. So with the ICE thing, like Obama probably deported more people than this dude. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like he deported a lot of people, but it wasn't
hmm
done like this. You never knew it was happening because this isn't how it's supposed to be
yeah,
done.
yeah. I was gonna say it seems like his is very more like media related and it's controlled, and they're trying to spike
It's a
that fear into
narrative.
people. Where it's like,
Because when you
yeah,
look at like where these things are happening, it's like one part of the city,
yeah,
and all the
exactly,
rest of them are like peaceful protests and shit. So
exactly,
fight like the media narrative, bro. He's using it. He calls it fake news and fake news, but yeah, really though, it really is like. But you calling it that to divert the fact that you're using it for your own narrative as well. So he's a piece of shit. Everybody knows how I feel about that dude, but I'm also gonna talk about well, one part where I do agree with what they're doing is we have to be the leaders in the world in digital assets, and I'm going to show why on that part too. Um, so I'm able to talk about him without getting emotional about it because there's other areas that we have to address and talk about. So anyway, I'll get into some of these little things that I was looking at, some of these stories I was looking at about crypto regulation. So the first one, let's see here. Damn, my shit's freezing up. Why is my shit freezing up? All right, here we go. I'm gonna show my screen real quick. So this is a good one. So we talked about so crypto just dipped with the bombing last night. So crypto
hmm
just did a quick dip, but this says a crypto alter like basically ETFs are coming in July possibly with SEC approval. So the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission can start to approve some crypto tied exchange traded funds as soon as next month. So what this
mm,
means is that your Fidelity, your BlackRock, your big traditional finance investors right now, they have a Bitcoin and an Ethereum ETF. That means, so if I went to my financial advisor, which I did, and I was just like, okay, so what do I need to do to get a Bitcoin ETF to put my money into Bitcoin instead of, Vanguard or the stock S&P 500 or whatever? He was like, well, you got to have 1 million to 2 million liquid in here in order to buy that Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So I can buy Bitcoin through my traditional finance investment firm, which that was not the case leading all the way up until January 1st of this year. So January 1st of this year, that became legal. It became regulated. Then they passed Ethereum. So now I can get an Ethereum ETF through. So basically, I can buy crypto through my traditional finance. That's such a big deal. Like, I don't think people understand how big of a deal that was. These same firms were shitting on crypto just 2 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
none of them wanted it. And so, I'm going to show you why they have to, because they can't deny it. And I'll show you that after this. So Solana, if you're saying, what should I buy? I would front run these ETFs, because once these ETFs get approved, like, that means there's literally going to be billions of dollars of inflow to these ETFs potentially, not right away, but down the line, because investors will have new appetites for more upside for their money. Instead of getting a 2x, I might want a 3 or 5x. Like, so that's when you say, all right, well, here's Solana. And then they go, okay, wow. And these are people with millions and millions of dollars that are inflow. Right now, that doesn't exist. So several fund issuers, Grayscale, Bitwise, have filed to the SEC to launch ETFs that track a bundle of cryptocurrencies. So, for example, right now you can get a bundle of like S&P 500. So a Vanguard bundle, for example, it has like 40% tech, 50%, 30%. It's a bundle of them. So it's less risky, I guess, if you will. So if some of them take off or some don't, but the bundle of them does well. That's what they're going to do with these other ETFs with like Solana. Solana's one of them. So it says here, it's like you don't know which one is going to be the winner, so you buy a basket of them all. It's a no-brainer, he added. So, this is a big deal. Will Solana be first? And I think Solana is going to be first for an ETF, meme coin ETF. That means Doge. You're looking at Litecoin. You're looking at, God, what's the other one? Cardano. So these all are going to be available through financial institutions here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Check this
Even
one
if
out.
you look over there on the right, so on that last page, it was saying
go ahead.
that.
I'll come back. Yeah.
Let me see. So SharpLink buys 463 million in ETH.
Yeah.
So when you see sharks and some of those big companies like start buying or selling, those are things to follow as well. Because a lot of times they know something. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times they know something.
Look at this. Remember I was talking about MPA Top Shot and all that stuff? The NFT market is silently becoming infrastructure. I'm telling you, like, I'm not telling people to go out and buy stuff. I'm just telling people to be curious enough to know what the hell is going on, because they're pulling the fucking rug over. They're pulling the wool over your eyes in real time while they're passing all of this shit. So let's see. Here's the other one. Share this tab. So Walmart, Amazon, Molon creating their own stable coins. Let me get to this one first, though, because this is what matters probably more. You got it. So the stablecoin bill passes key vote. So a stablecoin is a 1-to-1 crypto that basically is backed by $1. So that's not volatile. You buy it and all of those things. It's faster emission. You can pay faster. Payments are faster. All the things, because it utilizes these blockchains for payment. And so in a 68-30 vote, that's not even close. That means it passed with flying colors. Gilding establishing the National Innovation for U.S. Stable Coins, or the Genius Act, more than a month after it was introduced. Trump's talking points on digital assets, including the legislation, would help make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. I'm going to show why we want to be that. And then we want to bring cryptocurrency into the mainstream, and the Genius Act will help us do that. Folks, This shit is happening. This we're not talking about me just wondering and think. This is the actual like Senate and all of that. Um, Here's another one. So after the first closer vote in May, Trump's so the SEC chair is actually a pro crypto guy. So Gary Gensler is out, and he used to. They had a lot of. They were coming after a lot of crypto firms, and once he got his guy in there, Trump got his guy in there. He was like, they're doing away with all of it. They're like, nope, we ain't attacking none of these companies, you know. And so here's one of those stories, I believe. Crypto win. SEC drops Gensler era DeFi and custody rule proposals. So the SEC has officially dropped several rules that were proposed under the former chair. These proposals include definitions of exchanges and strict custody rules on crypto related activities. The move comes after wider, so like basically what does that mean? Paul Atkins, who's the chair, has reevaluated the crypto approach since January of 25 when he got in the chair. Stresses clear instructions. Here's the big one: voiced support for users to maintain custody of their digital assets, cold storage. If you own a cold storage, or basically you can control your own thing, the bank doesn't have to hold it. This is the SEC. This is who dictates what's regulated and what's not, and what's a security, what's not, what you pay taxes on, what you don't pay taxes on. This is a big deal. So, and here it also notes that in this article as well, SEC has also pushed review dates on several crypto ETF applications, such as Dogecoin, HBAR, Bitwise. Yeah. So, is it a good time to buy Doge? Yes. Is it a good time to buy Solana? Yes. Is it a good time to buy Litecoin? Yes. I don't know how many people are going to like that, but it might get bundled in with other stuff. Is it a good, but I just don't know what else. So let me go back to this one. I'm almost done. Walmart, Amazon, Mole creating their own stable coins. This is why it's important, the stable coin bill, because you're going to see companies to start creating their own versions of stable coin. Trump's WorldFi Liberty has already created its own stable coin. Trump is they're doing all this and creating chaos, and we're going over there and they're doing all of these things in real time. And that's what I'm here to try to paint the picture for people. It's like, this is all happening right now. And I can't stress enough to just be curious enough to turn your eyes, divert your attention just quickly over here and do both. It's okay to be over here. Yes, I am over there too, but now I'm over here too, because I'm not getting the blanket pulled over my eyes again. Walmart and Amazon are reportedly considering issuing or adopting stablecoins in a move that could upend how billions of dollars in consumer payments are processed. Billions of dollars. To potentially sidestep traditional banking infrastructure. That's gigantic. Another big one is Circle, so I'll talk about that. The goal is to reduce dependence on credit card networks like Visa and MasterCard, which cost retailers billions annually in transaction and interchange fees. So why would someone want stable coins? There's your answer. It costs them billions of dollars annually. Well, guess what? That number goes down if they adopt stable coins. So there's every reason in the world for retailers to do this, banks to do this. Our financial infrastructure is changing in real time, and people still are fading it. And here's another big one, Circle. So Circle just IPO'd this week, which means it went public. Let me see, I'm sharing my tab here. So I'm just looking at, so Circle, most people weren't following this. We'll go to Yahoo Finance, why not? Circle jumps 168% in its NYSE debut, marking the largest crypto IPO since Coinbase. Circle is a stable coin, USDC stable coin. Okay. So USDC stable coin, and guess who's trying to buy this? Coinbase. I think I had talked about that the last one, or may have pointed out that they're trying to buy stablecoin Circle. Well, Circle just went public on the New York Stock Exchange, and it did a 168%. So I'm sharing all this just to know, just so you know, and this is if you want to fade it or you want to try to learn about it. I'm going to go back to this total assets by market cap. This is all the assets in the world. Gold is the top one, obviously, at $23 trillion. The reason why people say Bitcoin will go to $1 million is because that means it has to get, a 10x to get to this market cap, which it's called digital gold. And if you think that gold is going to be more, I think Bitcoin is going to be worth more than gold, because you can't move gold. Gold's hard to send overseas. It's hard to it's difficult. Bitcoin is easy. It's fast. For the same reason stable coins are a thing. And so Bitcoin is the 7th biggest asset on the planet. But that same person might go, no, but you believe in Meta, right? You believe in Tesla. You believe in Walmart. You believe in JP Morgan Chase. You believe in Visa. Well, those are all like dwarfed by Bitcoin. Dwarfed. They're not even close. Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble. So if for nothing else, there's Ethereum at 36. That's only going to go up higher. So if for nothing else, I stopped explaining it to people. I just show them this chart and be like, okay, well, if you're fading this, if you're fading that, I can't really, that's your decision. And here's the part that I was going to talk about, why it's important and why U.S. wants to be the top. Look at gold. What country owns that? Nobody. Nobody owns gold. USA, Bitcoin, silver. Nobody owns that, and so that's why we want to be the world leader there, because you want to keep that USA run going, and this is the next thing. So it's all out here for you to see. So with this whole little diatribe that I just did, I hope that hopefully paints a little bit of a picture for you that this stuff is happening right now, and it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter if you're scared. It doesn't matter if anything. It's happening. So anyway, that's the end of my rant. I will stop. Thank you for being a very gracious co-host and just letting me get my shit off. I had to get that one off, man, because people ask all the time, and I'm like, man, like, I can break it down for you, but do you got like 15 minutes?
No, yeah.
Anyway, what do you think?
Oh yeah. I think. I mean, everything's gonna keep moving. I think obviously with all the stuff that's going on in the world, it's putting holds on stuff pumping, but they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that's gonna have it going to all time highs for sure.
The setup is there, man.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting. I'm just buying more Tau, buying more BitTensor, buying more Miggles. My Coinbase meme coin, all the reasons you just saw, with Coinbase doing what they're doing and trying to buy the stable coins and they're making a new wallet, and I'm like, all right, so their actual meme coin should do pretty well if it's the Coinbase cat.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds stupid, but sometimes you gotta turn your brain off, man. Yeah, so that's it on the crypto side of things. The market's dumping, and that's a good time to buy, actually. I'll probably go shopping this weekend just with my DCAs and just see if I move them or not. I'm not going to spend no extra money. I'm just trying to see what I want to do there. But outside of that, we were talking about business. So what were people – so you were saying that people was talking about business in the shop.
Oh, yeah. Just talking about we had a couple people asking about, getting started, challenges people faced. Just in terms, I feel like it's we're in the era of, I think in the next 5 years there's going to be a lot more entrepreneurs. Not necessarily saying that everyone's just making millions and stuff, but I think that it's getting to the point where people are starting to realize, like, okay, I can. With how social media is, it's the era where people can be their own bosses if they want, So I think a lot of people just don't know where to get started and having the mindset. I mean, and that's not knocking no one. Just some people don't think as a entrepreneur. They're designed to. They would rather work for someone or So it's like, so I know every single person I know would love to start their own business.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, people. So a lot of people start and they don't know where that takes them. They don't know how to scale. They don't know the next plan. Like
Mm-hmm.
like people will ask me like, okay, when you open this business, it's like, do you plan on running it for the next 30, 40 years? And it's like, no. I feel like if anyone opens a business, unless you're trying to pass it down to family and have them
Yeah.
actually work there, your goal has to be to sell.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a playing line to scale and sell. I think that's the if you look at any big shark in general, a lot of
Yeah.
them got to where they're at off growing,
Yeah.
scaling, and selling businesses.
Selling a business. Yep.
So I think that any business that's scalable, you need to sell. Unless you're trying to have like a, family owned, like corner store type you know what I'm saying? And just my
Yeah.
kids are gonna work there, and it's like, and I think that if someone's ever goal is to scale, that shouldn't be the plan anywhere. I think anyone that scales, your goal should be not for your kids to work for you. It's like, nah, let's run it up.
Who was I just talking to about that? About selling. Oh, so I'm meeting with a kid, G Alvarado. I showed him the pod and whatnot.
Hmm.
Shout out to G.
Hmm.
Really smart kid, just graduated from PLU, but he codes AI, and so
Mm.
we meet probably quarterly or every couple quarters, just to check in and see how he's doing. Very eclectic kid, performing at Tacoma Musical Playhouse.
Mm.
Super talented, but also created a language model that helps animate real people into
Mhm.
actual his character that he created and his the IP. And I was just like, this was yesterday, right down here at the office. Came through, and first of all, I was like, dude, you're coding AI language models first and foremost. Like, that's dope. You're smart. Like, he went to school for it. But then I just got to talking about like, all right, well, who's your investors? Like, I want in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know what this is and where you're going with it, and also that language model that you produced. I know that there's other ones out there, but just because there's other ones out there doesn't mean that you don't throw yours in the ring, and figuring out how we can get some capital to back you, and then you can work on it and improve it, and you don't have to be the one. It can be someone else. He wants to own it and all those kinds of things, and so I'm trying to, like, to your point that you just said, which is like his goal is to own because he's a creative, and so his goal is to own. And I'm thinking like a business person, like, okay, yeah, you can want to do that, but like eventually you have something special that you can throw it in the ring in an emerging technology field. And it doesn't have to be the biggest and best one. It can just be one that another Facebook wants to pick up so it doesn't compete with the one that it has. Like,
Yeah.
companies do that. They'll snatch up the little small one for 5 million or whatever, just to
Mhm.
say like, no, we don't want you to compete with us. So we
Yeah.
want to, and we want that IP, we want the rights to that language model or
Yeah.
whatever. So there's different ways to play that game, and so same thing with like Zenith.
Hmm.
You're entering a space, and
Hmm.
um, there's other ones there, but I think as long as you have a product that's good and you push it and people like it, like, and that
Absolutely.
takes time too. That's the other thing I was going to
Absolutely.
tell people
Yeah.
when people do business, like, that shit takes time. Like,
No, for sure.
be ready to
Yeah.
go.
Scaling. Yeah. People think that you launch and now you just you're ready to retire. Like, nah, that's not how it works, man. It's a
Hmm.
lot more hours than a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You're working late nights, early mornings, and you have random calls that come up, random stuff you need to get done, things that go sideways, and you got to rely on yourself to get it done. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of work, but I do think that if someone stays down, the reward is there. So like,
What was the biggest challenge opening up your shop, like, for you?
oh man, it was a lot. Like with me, going, it was hard going all in. Also, in
Mm.
terms of
Mm-hmm.
like, me and T just got married, had JoJo, and putting every dime I had saved for the last few years, every stock, crypto, everything into this, where
Yeah.
you don't know what's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It could be there's so much money to start up. It's not like I had a $10,000 startup. It's like we're talking big six figures. So it was like
Yeah.
getting it started. It was putting everything else on hold, and it's like, you got to trust me. Like, let's try to
Yeah.
get this done. This is the vision. This is what I want to do. And then there's so much things that people don't realize goes like we almost couldn't open after dropping everything. I'm talking about I'm $0 to my name.
Yeah.
We almost couldn't open. Our
Mm.
cryo chamber is it could shut down the block in terms of like power. You know
Oh
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
the power.
like
Yeah.
it's like you can't just hook up to a random building. That's not how it works. And it's like it's just stuff that I had to learn on the fly as
Yeah.
a, you know what
Damn.
I'm saying? No, I'm gonna keep it real. What I'm doing, no one did this shit before me. So
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
not getting advice from no one. It's, I made my own connections and everything, but it was like I had to learn on the fly. I'm talking about I called we probably have 15 different companies, electric companies
Damn.
come out to try to set up, and they're like, nah, it's bad. Like some of them are like, nah, this can't be done. We can't do this. And then it's like, okay, well, it was last minute. I'm talking about we would have lost another. We would probably been another $50,000 in the hole if a certain company out in Puyallup couldn't come over and set some shit up for us.
That's
And it was like
crazy.
last minute, back against the wall, and they came over and worked from 7 a.m. to midnight. Came back the next day at 7 a.m. and worked till I think 2 or 3 the next day and
Okay.
knocked out all of our shit. And like that's the type of things that people don't think about. Like it's
Yeah.
not just
So
random
let me
stuff.
ask
Like
you
there's a
this: if you were to do it again, and you had someone that knew the ropes, would you have used that person as a resource? That
um
knew like what to do and all that kind of stuff.
the electricians.
Just in general, they're like, yeah, I've done this before. Here's what you need to do. Boom, boom, boom. Like, would it have saved you
So
time
like I would
and money?
there's also now that I've been through it, there's things I look for prior. Like companies will tell you something acting like it's simple and like, hey, yeah, all you gotta do is do this, and it's easy stuff. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you can't do it, don't tell me it's easy. Like there's like some of
Right.
the companies will tell you like, yeah, all you gotta do is do this or have someone come out and help with this, and it's like, oh, cool. And then as it's getting closer, I call um people I know electricians, so it's like, hey, do this, and they're like, it's simple. What? This is a long ass job. Like this can't even be done type stuff. You're talking about, and I'm like, wait, what? So me going in that space, there's things that I know on the front end that I can look for now.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and then like I would have people in place before I get a building. And I'm bringing probably 5 to 10 people with me if I see a spot I like. I'm
Mm.
calling the companies that I'm getting, like even the crowd chamber. There's certain things that I'm setting up and I'm knowing before I even bought a building or even signed a lease
Yeah.
nowadays because it's like there's so much stuff that goes into it that they just don't tell you up front. Even on the back end, it's like, oh yeah, here's this, and then you think about it like, oh wait, I have to pay this on after it's paid off. I have to pay you monthly for this. You guys didn't tell
Yeah.
me this. So there's a lot of things that I know now, especially being 5 6 years in with it, um, that I
It's
just won't. Yeah,
it's invaluable knowledge, man.
yeah,
Doing
for
a
sure.
startup from scratch like that, and
Hmm.
so in our field, in our situation, like in real estate, or at least working with a
Hmm.
franchise, um, that's why I asked that question because we had a business partner that already had offices. So for the first time, I felt like in my life, I joined the winning team. You know, like
Hmm.
oh, you already know how to do this. All right, cool. Well, and for me, I was like, okay, well, if you guys can take care of the business part and let us like do the like business thing and just let us do figure out how we make the business go, and all the back end is figured out, then we can scale quicker and be profitable quicker.
Hmm.
And so, letting go of some things and allowing that's been my experience, letting go of like some of the back end stuff like
Yeah,
accounting or whatever, and you hire that out and you're just able to then focus on growing the business.
for
I
sure.
think that and that's kind of what we try to do here as a model for our agent, for you guys, for
Yeah.
our agents as well. Is like we want to take care of all the back end stuff so that you can
Hmm.
just literally all you have to do is focus on the business,
Yeah.
on growing your business and doing the business. You
So
know,
so
it's
when you got the franchise, is there certain models that were already in place for you that made it? It's nothing's
Mhm.
easy, but made it easier to follow. Where it's like obviously, so it might be Windermere where it's like, no, you have to have this split. You have to have these TCs. You have to have this for your agents. There's certain
no,
things that made it more simple,
there's
or is it like free game for you?
it was free. It's open. And
Yeah.
that's the good thing about Windermere is they support whatever I mean, the business model in terms of how they have certain things set up, in terms of their branding and all that. But in terms of like what you want your splits to be and all that other kind of stuff, it's across the board.
Yeah.
It's whatever your business model is. It's what you do, and they do a really good job of supporting us in whatever it is that we want to do. And so but in terms of so yes and no. So, but there is a prototypical brokerage model that that a lot of like that makes it pencil. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, if you have this X amount of agents, this pencils. It's just
Yeah.
like, well, we don't want to do it like that because that's a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like we want to be small, we want to be a boutique, we want to do all this, and so it's like,
Hmm.
all right, well, that's going to cost this. It's like, all right, cool. And then our goal is how do you provide value, the amount of value that you want to provide with a limited amount of funds, or
Yeah.
a capped amount of funds, because
Hmm.
once you hit your cap, as it's like you get to
Yep.
keep, it's
Exactly.
that's it, like, and so that's that. So it's we have a set amount, you know what I'm saying, and the goal is to make it as like, as we just got into that space next door, like that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
um, so you can decide to that's one of the things that we make. That's a decision that we made based on the ethos of what we're trying to do, which is provide value to agents.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and sometimes it's going to cost you a lot of money, and sometimes or most times it's going to cost you a lot of money and time
Hmm.
and resources and things of that nature, but
Yeah.
it's all for the same goals, because when you guys are
Sure.
successful, we're successful. That's just how we set it up.
Yeah.
If it wasn't set up that way, where like in terms of how we're set up, you basically then we need 60 to 70 people all just paying overhead for every
Yeah.
month, and that's what we live off
Hmm.
of. And
Yeah.
that's not how we want to do it. We know,
Hmm.
because then I'm not incentivized to help you do your thing. I'm
Yeah.
not incentivized to
Hmm.
say, yeah, let's start brick by brick, because I think we can enter in this other, you know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
incentivized to do that, because I don't have to let you win, because I'll just go recruit and spend time recruiting. I don't even recruit. I don't spend time recruiting. Like,
Yeah.
we're probably the only brokerage in history that doesn't do that. Like, we don't.
Yeah.
I literally don't
Yeah.
recruit.
No. Yeah.
So whereas if you go to somewhere else, they're gonna, yeah, you better believe that there's a lot of time being spent recruiting.
Oh, for sure. I know. I
Yeah,
know.
I know you know. So like, so that's what I'm saying though. That's different.
Yeah.
That's different. My I would rather flip that and work on how do we support the people that we already have,
No.
and
Yeah.
use that time to retain.
No.
And
Yeah.
so when I think about businesses, and their models, everybody's different. Everyone has a different skill set to run it with business however they want to run
Yeah.
it. But
I, yeah. I will say that is like even with me because um, obviously brokerages have came to talk to me
mhm,
and but before I came to talk to you guys.
yeah,
I came to talk to you guys and you guys saw the vision of what I looked at for another 3 to 5 years from now. Before I had a single number. It was like, nah, I got the license, but I don't have shit yet. But this is the vision. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I also feel like if I would have at that time, let's say I wanted to talk to anyone else, they're like, you know what I'm saying? They're like,
yeah,
let's see what you did last year. And it's like, nah,
yeah,
I'm new. This is what I want to do, and you guys believed in the vision with it.
yeah,
Versus other brokerages, it's like they wait until they see your numbers for the full year. And I'm not going to talk on everyone, but they wait until they see your numbers. Like, we think you're a perfect fit for us.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you did this in business, you did this, and it's like, well, if you're not talking about real estate, I did that shit last year too.
yeah.
So why do you want me this year off of So I,
Right.
I I will say that in terms of you guys, yeah, you guys attract the right people in terms of like and you guys aren't forcefully trying to get the top. Hey, we need this person, we need to steal them over here. It's like, nah, man, this is where we built this, and you guys built a family atmosphere, and you know what I'm saying,
Thanks,
like,
man. Yeah,
so.
it takes a lot of work though, like to
No,
have
yeah.
that, to have a vision. So to the people that's asking about a business, and this could be a content. So like I have another thing that I want to do, which is the Sonics are coming back eventually, and I want to eventually be a part of that. Not want
Yeah.
to, I will be a part of
Yeah.
that organization in some way, shape, or
Yeah.
form.
Hmm.
And that might mean I start a Sonics lounge. YouTube
Yeah.
channel and just
Yeah.
talk about Sonic shit. And
Yep.
and so, you know, in this day and age, there's so many, you can have so many ideas, but and 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 don't hide your ideas. Share your
No.
ideas.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
why. There's only going to be 1% that actually go to execute that.
Yeah.
There's only going to be a small amount of people that will actually execute. And that's
A
what I
hundred percent.
learned.
A hundred
That's what I
percent.
learned with video
And
stuff, with all that. I was like, oh,
man,
I'll give you all of my stuff. I don't care. I'll
and I
share
and I
everything I
yep.
know.
And I guarantee everybody knows one person or a couple people like this where they tell you something happened and it's like, man, we was trying to do that back then,
Yeah.
and then they end up doing it's like, bro, you was sitting on that for 10 years.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? I always hear people like, yeah, we had talked about doing this back then, and it's like, what? 10 years? You was about to do it? Like, nah, man, pull that trigger, take that chance.
Just take a chance, man.
Exactly.
Just take a chance. And so that's the first thing. Have your idea. You know, have your idea. Is it something you're passionate about?
Mm.
So like, you know, I see people starting smoothie shops or they want to start a clothing line or whatever. Okay. So here's what I would say to those people asking: if you're gonna start that, what problem are you solving?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you want to do T-shirts, well, I see a million brands out here. So what makes your brand? What problem are you solving for people? Oh, well, this is for. So like for example, my son swims. You know what I see? There's no dope swim brands in my opinion.
Yeah. No. I
TYR is
agree.
like the main one, but
Yeah.
there ain't no dope swim brands. I was telling my
No.
son
Yeah.
like, bro, this is open season in here is what I'm looking at. I see opportunity. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing of swag in this whole situation right now to me
Yeah.
that would attract someone like me.
Yeah. For sure.
And that's why there's only 1% of swimmers, black swimmers, 1% of all NCAA D1 through D2, D3. 1%, bro. So I'm like, oh, well, all you needed to do is attract more swimmers, black swimmers, and they would definitely come swim.
No. Yeah.
It's real easy.
Sure.
So, but that's not my lane. I don't want to do that. But there you go,
No.
free
Yeah.
game.
I
Someone
think
who's going to
a
execute on
lot of
that.
people that get started. I think a lot of entrepreneurs that start stuff, some of them start for the wrong reason too. Like they're not. If for one, you're right, fix a problem, but also do something that you love and you want to actually do for the next couple years.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people try to jump into lanes that are not their lanes strictly because they saw someone else do it, and it's like,
Yep.
if they could do it, I could do it. And it's like, nah,
Yep.
you already got in for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
for real.
you, I see so many people every day come in like, oh yeah, well shit, I could probably do this, and it's like, what? Like, bro, you know what it takes to do this and what the ins and outs? Like, stop discrediting what shit takes. You know what I'm saying? It is not easy to run certain
It's
things and
not
open
easy,
certain
bro.
things. People just see something like they don't see the all the shit done in the background. They don't see the sleepless nights. They don't see all the extra shit. They just see a fucking opening sign on
Yeah. And
Instagram,
it's
and it's
well,
like,
how long y'all been open?
shit, 4.5. We've had this space
Yeah.
for 5 years, but we're coming up on 5 years first week of
S-
October.
So yeah, and we're 7. Like I was sitting there going, damn, I've been in the game for 7. I'm at that point where it's like, damn, I know some things, but it doesn't feel
Oh
like that.
yeah,
I have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So I'm a lifelong learner. So I'm always learning something new. Like right now, I'm in AI and learning AI and all this other stuff. Um, and so you just said that, and you said the thing what I think people need to hear, which is you said you had $0 to your name, damn near. You know what I mean? Like,
hmm
if you really believe in this thing, then you do that thing. So, like when
yeah,
we started this business, that first year, I didn't make any money, you know,
oh yeah,
and I made the least amount because I just was like, all right, well, this is what we need to like just. I can't even pay a year's worth of mortgage with it, but like we'll figure it out, and then I have some
yeah,
savings here, and I can do
yeah,
that, and then we got to pay for health care. You know what I mean? That you got
yeah.
to just figure out how you're going to scrape by, basically.
And
Um,
I think that's one of the hardest things for people is like just being uncomfortable. Like people
hmm
don't like to be uncomfortable. Like, and especially if it's on your own will. Like shit, this is gonna be fucking hard. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like we're about to
Yep.
struggle. There's a chance this could fail. You know what I'm saying? All this I work for, I'm putting into this, and it's like I don't know. You just gotta be, you gotta, I don't know. You gotta trust your own vision. Um,
hmm
and just get comfortable being real uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I always, it's always sucks in the moment, but once you get through that, at least for me, I noticed that every time I've had a really really bad situation, I come out of
Mm-hmm.
it 10 times better in terms of a person in business. Um, Getting through it, and I realized like, oh no, I kind of thrive in these high pressure
Mm-hmm.
situations. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's something that I want to do, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's
Yeah.
like, nah, I once I get in this mix, I get as long as I got a passion for it, I love being in it. And it's like, nah, I start to get creative and start to, switch it up. And I think you just gotta trust the process. And if someone is looking to start a business, I mean, shit, we could give ideas and our tips and stuff, but you gotta be ready to struggle, but be comfortable
Mm-hmm.
struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Here's another part too, and I'm just gonna be real. Organization and accounting. So
Yeah.
if you and being good with finances,
Yep.
because a lot of times when you're starting up, you're going to be dealing with big chunks of money, and you got to either budget that, or you have to be
Absolutely.
able to know how to look at a balance sheet,
Absolutely.
and you have to, like, these are all things that people sometimes get into, and they just still like, man.
Yeah.
Or you
That's
might
and
go in
that
the
that's a
back end of a
huge thing.
business.
That's a
Yeah,
that's a
you're
huge thing.
there's businesses that you love right now that their
Mhm.
balance sheet is all fucked off, or their
Yeah.
accounting is all fucked off, or whatever, like, and that's okay. Like, I'm just saying, like, but if you can because you can still run a business, and not, I'm not saying you
Yeah.
have, like, you don't have to be excellent at this. I'm
Hmm.
just saying that if you are better than average at the books part, and the accounting and the money and the finance and the back end, because you, like, let's say you got someone to invest in your business at $50,000, and you're opening a barbershop or whatever, be able to map that out and understand how you can run with that budget, know what your
Yeah.
expenses are, and then you say, this should be my take home and my net profit.
Yep.
And every decision you make has to be based
Yep.
on that budget that you
Absolutely.
did.
Dude,
Um,
that's a huge thing.
yeah.
Like I think that balance sheet, and it's not saying you have to do it yourself. Balance sheet, and understanding finances and thinking of your future moves. Where like if
Yes.
you are an entrepreneur, it is very very hard to get loans, or if you want to buy a house, it is not simple. So I'm letting people know
Yep.
that now. But if you want to do that, it's things you need to get right with your balance sheet in terms of your taxes and have someone. Because with me, I it's something that I fucked up on, where it was just like it
Hmm.
was like, nope, this is coming to the account. Especially when we started having like some of our really really like big months, where it was like
Hmm.
you almost think when you're a first time entrepreneur too, it's just like for a second you think it's just your money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I remember we had a
For
couple big months, and I was like, we blew
yeah.
a bag for Christmas. I'm talking about whole fam. If my family's watching, they know there was one
Everybody
Christmas we
getting a
fucking,
rollie.
bro. There was one Christmas we fucking splurged on the whole family, and then months
Yeah.
later, me and T's like, God damn, what? like, like we
January
blew
come
a
around, it's
bag
dry
because it's like,
season.
this is coming in next month, and it's like, nah, man, it's that's not my money. That's the business's money, and
Yep.
we still gotta act accordingly and do it right. But so
That's
I'm not saying this shit to tell someone like, nah, I've been through everything I'm talking about.
yeah.
So and that's
Yeah.
that's what business, and I've been through this stuff with real estate. So when I'm telling you guys about the covenant program, I'm trying to help people, and I'm personally going through it right now. So I'm everything we're talking about. You know, we've already dipped in it.
Yeah. And that, and it's so real, man. And and some things you have to experience first to
Mhm.
and there's other elements of this. Like, let's say someone wants to start up a content, like you were talking about, you wish you did more content
Yeah,
before, and it's just like, that's a whole other thing. Like, content, like, like, when people ask me how I do things, before it used to be music, and I'd always be download music, and I always had the music. People are like, how do you do it? I'm like, I put in the time because I want the music, so I figured out where it's at,
yeah,
how do I download it, all those things, what devices do I need, how do I do this. And now with the content, like shooting video, like, I learned that all on my own. Like, just that's
yeah.
that's over a decade worth of learning. When you see me
Hmm.
shoot, or like I shot, like, I've been in full transparency, I've been not wanting to shoot and edit actual film for a long, not wanting to. I just been in a rut, man. I
Hmm.
look at the final cut, and I'm like, damn, I don't even want to do this, like, because I'm just I don't know. I just don't got the inspo. You know what I mean? I'm just not, because I'm looking at 180 spatial video right now. I'm looking at 360 video right now. I'm in this whole other space. I'm learning
Yeah.
in silence right now. Actually, is what's happening. But then when I came
Mhm.
back and I made that video from this week, the
Yeah.
community service one, I
Yeah.
went to bed at like 3 a.m. that night. You know what I'm saying? Because I was up editing that because I wanted it for the meeting. But um, what I learned was, damn, like I can do this kind of really, really good, really semi fast. Um, and I was learning things along the way that even when I was in a rut and didn't want to do it, I was watching and seeing how other people were creating. And I made a 5 minute video seem like it was 2 minutes or 3 minutes because I worked on pacing. Like,
Mm.
that's what I was working on, pacing. Like, when you watch it, you're
Yeah.
like, damn, that seemed like it was like 3 minutes. And that shit's 5 minutes, bro. Like, it's long. But it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's long because I was like working on my storytelling and pacing and like
Yep.
where do I put stuff, and because how it's edited wasn't the way that I recorded it. Like, your part was like further on down the road when I was
Yeah.
there. That
Yep.
wasn't first. Like, but that's what
Yep.
I chose to be there because I thought it was funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like there's but that's 10 plus years of me doing that
Exactly.
in those late nights. That's
Exactly.
that's that's 13 to 14 years. I've been shooting for like 14 years, man. Like,
Exactly.
it,
People, and that's another thing people don't understand is the years it goes in, and then they see that video and think, "Man, I could probably make it." It's like a trader. It's like,
yeah.
"Oh, yeah, this shit's easy. It's like free money." And it's like they're 5, 10 minutes in. If you try to do that shit right now, you're down
You're
bad.
getting wrecked. You're getting wrecked.
So that's how I compare that, like trading. I know a couple of traders, especially that come in here, that are very, very successful,
Yeah.
and they will tell you in your first 3 years you're not making shit.
Nope.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
you,
You're not
you
making
know.
a dollar. You're gonna suck until you
Yep.
don't suck, and then at a
And
certain
that same
point,
thing with crypto. Like,
exactly.
all
And so,
that stuff that I went through, this, like, I was watching it the time last bull run, but I stuck around every day in the bear market. I was watching
yeah,
videos, and I still do every day. I get off work and
yep.
I go to YouTube and I watch Altcoin Daily and I watch Digital Asset News. Those are my two ones,
It's
and then I'll
it's
watch
you
George and,
you have to go through a bear market to really appreciate a bull
bro,
run. I
bro.
will say
I
that,
I know
man.
exactly where we're at right now. I'm not panicking. I saw the bums like, oh, we're about to dip. I was like, shit, we might go under 100,000. Shit, if that's the case, I'm buying. Like, I'm not panicking. I know what I'm
No,
doing. Like, I've never, because I'm not leaving though. That's why it's
yeah,
like, last
exactly.
time I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this money and then I'm gonna make this and then I'm off to the races. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, actually, that's don't work that way. I got to stick
Yeah,
around
if,
and like
if you're
hold
on
it
a
for a
long
long
term
time.
hold and you're constantly trying to, even you got, weekly or monthly buys, you actually appreciate the dips, to tell the truth. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
do.
Like when someone's
Someone
trying to,
actually,
yeah.
yeah, I tweeted that here. I'll bring it up. I tweeted that, and oh yeah, I wanted to show people this too, real quick. What's this? You see this? I want to see. You see this? You see that?
Hoo-hoo!
Where, what's this? Yeah, tell the people how you were just recently in the South Sound
Yes,
Business magazine.
South Sound Business, they just did a feature on me for highlighting businessmen and entrepreneurs that, juggle multiple business ventures, how they do it, um, uh, what the next man should do, and then they wanted to throw a little feature on, what me and T have been working on the past year, which is, I think we mentioned already, Zenith. So they highlighted Dan Performance, um, real estate. They highlighted me and my brother's brand, Scorched Ice,
Mm-hmm.
and then Zenith, which is something that me and T been working on since August last year, and now we're down to the last month. So
Yeah. Hey, I'm done with
they
my bottle too. By the way, I need
oh
another
man,
bottle, bro.
we got more on the way. Right now we're
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna need
even
that.
that, like there's a lot that goes into it. It is not like that has been pretty hard, like
Mm-hmm.
getting everything done. And I gave you that sample. When did you get that sample?
That
That
was
was
that
that
was
was
when we
in
went to
Seabrook.
Seabrook. Seabrook, yeah.
So so I know that stuff has been in the works and for a long time, and now we the design. That's just the fun part. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and us mapping out our launch and everything we're going through right now and finalizing our website and everything. Like, um, there's a lot that goes into it, but I do think we're in the the fun part, and then once we launch, man, it's
That's dope.
I think it's gonna be huge. What's
I
crazy
love
is
that.
Al took a video of me talking about this probably in September last year, and I didn't even know it was recording. I was talking like, I mean, train here. He got a dope video of like talking about one day selling the business and how we think launch is gonna look, and it's dope.
Yeah, that's fire, man. I love that shit. Um, I wanted to. What I was going to show is I'm on X right now. Oh, here we go. Shout out to Brent. Brent is a Windermere agent in Missoula, Montana. But so this is I was so it's, we were talking about, and we're ping ponging. Sorry, folks, if you haven't trouble following, but I was like, let's go under 100K. Shit, this weekend we finna have some great prices,
Oh yeah.
and that's how I'm thinking. And Brent was like, huh? And I was like, I love discounts. Buy it for your unborn grandchildren or buy it later at 1 million, whatever works for you, brother. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, so that's my, it says Bitcoin falls under 103,000. I don't even know where it's at right now.
It's still hovering around there, but
Everything's
I
dumping
agree
right
with
now.
that. Like I think
Oh,
about
105.
your grandkids another 20, 30 years.
Bruh,
Like
Bitcoin,
man, not even only Bitcoin. If someone's just getting started, imagine if someone like giving in
Bittenser. I'm about to
twenty
buy some
forty
bit.
2045,
Yeah,
you giving your kid one ETH or your grandkid one ETH. Shit like that. Like
yeah,
it's just stuff that is even like it'd be like another imagine 20 years ago if your granddad was copping uh some damn Teslas or Microsoft or Apple for you. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's like you'd be set just
It's
based on
that.
that one decision that they made, and it's like you
Well,
guys can all be in that place right now.
bro, the answer is right here. I'm showing people the chart. Like, I'm showing you if we're early, which we're early in Bitcoin, right? People don't know about it yet. But you know about Chevron. Chevron's been around forever. Forever. General Electric's been around forever. Salesforce, huge company, CRS. Huge. Wells Fargo. Bro, we are early on Bitcoin and
Yeah,
it's number 7.
yeah, facts.
So I
It'd be
don't
like the dudes buying who the when you talk to like my dad and like back in the day when they was getting gold in the 90s from crackheads for a Coke bottle. You know what I'm saying? That there's crackheads going and
hey, gold
and
was the
and like you
shit
want
from
this
the
diamond, you
80s. You
want this
couldn't
gold ring, you want this
yeah,
gold rope, you want this
bro,
herringbone
gold.
necklace, and it's like, yeah, man, I'll give you $5 for it. You know what I'm saying? Like back then. So imagine if someone was just stacking gold back then. Like it's just
Bro,
you're
and
so early.
gold is always valuable. It's gonna be it's I'm not saying it's not gonna be valuable. So if people be like, oh, it's not gonna overtake gold, I'm not saying gold's still gonna be valuable. I'm not saying I'm just telling you Bitcoin's gonna be more valuable because it's easier to move and we're going
Yeah.
into a digital world. And so now if you think AI, and I was look at BitTensor, and the reason why I look at BitTensor again is because if you think AI, everyone believes in AI, right? I think hopefully you do. At this point, you shouldn't fade it. But all right, so if I'm looking at Bitcoin, and what's the decentralized version of AI? Like, because right now there's only centralized versions: OpenAI, Meta, Grok. All these companies are the only ones that own them. But where's the decentralized version? Just like there's Bitcoin stands for decentralized finance or decentralized store of value. Just like you saw the thing, no one owns it. So now you have BitTensor, and BitTensor is the AI version of that decentralized AI. So when I look at it, the way I look at it, I'm like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense to me. So what's the AI version of this? And for me right now, short term, like, look, if you look at all the AI tokens, it's the top one. And we all can sit here and say AI is the future. We all know that. Well, I'm going to go just put my money in the top AI crypto. That's all. It could go to zero, but
Yeah.
I don't think it will. It's only $3 billion. $3 billion valuation right here. Market cap is $3 billion. let's go take a look at. Oops, I need to share that again. So if that's $3 billion, let's look at just some other shit coin that is just up here. Well, Cardano. Let's say, well, Avalanche even. Let's say Avalanche. Avalanche is 8 billion. So that's a 2 and some change X. Do I think it'll be bigger than that? Absolutely. Do I think it can be a Solana size? Yes. 76 billion. BitTensor's at 3. It's the top AI crypto. AI. AI. Everyone knows that it's going to trillions of dollars, that market cap for AI. Well, it's 3 billion. That's, I don't know how many that is, X's, but it's a lot. What's 3 into 76? I don't know, 20? More than 20. 25X? Yeah, it's roughly 25X. So, I don't know. That's how I make sense of it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to start pouring money into that. I might get a 25X on my money. Well, if you get 25X on, let's say, $1,000, that's $25,000. What if it's $10,000? Well, that's $250,000 in just this bull run alone. Up to, I'm not saying it's going there, but eventually maybe it will, maybe it won't. Yeah. I'm willing to take that risk.
Yeah.
That's all. So, anyway, last one, NBA Finals, and we can get out of here. We've been going for a while. I forgot we got some, we only been an hour, so we got some good stuff, good shit up. Who you got in the finals?
I got Pacers, man. Okay, so I don't want to see OKC
you changed up after you seen game three though, huh?
Nah, we talked about this before. I said I didn't want to see OKC. I don't want to see OKC win anything. Just the fact that they should be in Seattle.
Yeah, for real.
Like, don't get me wrong. It's like, okay, that Shea, you're nice. Warriors should be there. But yeah, I just don't want to see OKC. I want them to be. They should have been in Seattle. That's how I view it. So I don't want to see them win. Period. Not like Pacers. I ain't no Pacers fan. So it's just like it's hard. This year is also a weird year too because I like to see legacy rings. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Braun or Steph get another ring. I want to see Tatum try to get one. So this year, I don't see Halliburton ever getting 4 rings. That type of stuff.
Nah, he ain't getting 4.
So I like to see. I want to see some stuff that talks about people's legacies. I want to see Braun. I want to see Steph, Tatum, those type of guys.
Yeah. And I was just reminded, there's no drama in this one because they're trying to. I think they have to build up the narratives, so we won't see a good finals for another 3 to 4 years because once Steph and all those guys, you got to then build up the next guys, and that's going to take time to build them up. So it's like,
like if Ant would have made it, there would have been a better narrative. Ant getting his first ring, and I think the finals would be a little bit more exciting in terms of people tuning in. They want Ant to get that first one. He's one of them ones where you want to see,
Hey, I got a story for you on the OKC. Here's another reason why I hate OKC, and a lot of people don't know this story. So this is actually exclusive alpha type shit. Even the most staunch Sonics fans don't know this. The ones that know because at the time we didn't have as robust social media, so you couldn't get the story out. All right, so we get our team stolen, right? The Sonics get stolen. After 2 years, Clay Bennett buys them. And then in 2 years, Clay Bennett owned them, and we were like, they're going to move to OKC. He was saying that they weren't. We were all saying bullshit, whatever. But we get Kevin Durant. We get all happy, and then they rip our team away. So that was terrible, right? There was a team called the Tacoma Thunder in Tacoma at the time. And Chris Hippa played on that team. Dante. There's a whole Lovelady, I think, might have played, or he was a coach. Lovelady coached. It was a pro-am team. They played at Stadium High School. The Tacoma Thunder. Here was the logo, and I built the website, so I know. So I was working with all of the assets, right? The colors and all that stuff, just like we built brick by brick. I was working with the website. I built it myself. That's the logo. So when I look at, so they roll out this team and I was like, yo, that's our colors, that's our name. They didn't do
Mm,
anything original, bro. Like they took literally and it was an iteration of this, but it and when they first came out, I bet it looks closer to this than it does now. But like they took our shit, bro. Like straight up.
literally.
And
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that.
that's
So they
crazy
stole the
looking back at that.
Sonics. They
Was
stole the
so
Sonics and then they stole this.
I never even looked at it like that. What's crazy is, yeah, that's wild. So they brought the Tacoma Thunder back in 2016 because
Yeah,
right after
and
I
it was called
graduated
like was it
college,
called the Jazz or something like that or
nah, it was Tacoma Thunder. They
oh, it
brought
was the
something
Thunder?
back a couple years ago. And Dante was one of the people that tried to bring it back.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
after I graduated college, in my first year, I didn't get a deal right away. So they were telling me like, nah, go play for the Thunder, like get filmed, this and that. And long story short, they didn't really record no games, but there was a whole lot of 40 balls, a couple, a couple 50 balls,
Hey,
and
who was
and,
getting loose? Who was getting loose?
man, all and nah, we got some people that seen it firsthand. I'm not gonna call them out, but they brought the Thunder back, and I played for them for a little bit before switching over, and I chose up. I switched to the Admirals. They came off a national championship, so I switched
Yep.
and played for them for a little bit. But yeah, they brought the
Yep.
Thunder back. They tried it for a little bit, but they didn't have systems in play to keep it going, in my opinion.
Yeah, to our conversation earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, to our conversation earlier, that it takes a lot to sustain a business. You know, you got to
Yeah.
like you can start a business, but sustaining the business is the hardest part. So I take a lot of time thinking about even for this podcast. Even remember, I mean, I was like, we can't start. And I was really heavy on this part because I was like, in order for us to do it, it has to be sustainable. Like because and so when you watch like Mind the Game, the LeBron and
Mhm.
Steve Nash joint, which shout out to
Yeah.
them, that's a dope ass series.
Yeah.
You saw the first studio one with Luca and them, but then on the next ones, they're on a call just like us.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, because that's what's sustainable for this model because those dudes have lives and schedules and you
Yep.
know what I mean. Like, it's just shit gets kind of crazy. So, I do still do believe in this in studio part of this. This will grow to an in studio. There will be
For
a
sure.
version of that,
Yep.
absolutely. Um, but you know, we're building out brick by brick.
Yep.
And man, that's it. So put me on, man. What you got? Let's get up out of
Man.
here, bro.
Shoot, hold on, hold on. Before my put me on, I'm gonna mention this only because I've gotten a lot of DMs about it. Um, People are asking for qualifications for the Covenant program.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah, 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 yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people have been asking that, like, what the qualifications are. So to start with, you got to be a first time home buyer, and there's some wiggle room around that. But first time home buyer, um, then you got to be black, Hispanic, Asian,
Indigenous? Does indigenous
native.
count too? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you got to show that you have family lineage that lived in Washington 1968 or sooner. So
Okay.
they don't have to be born here, but you have to show that you have family lineage that lived here in Washington and has been here. And then after that, I think there's income limits. So like Pierce County got to be under 122,000, King County under 150,000. But after those 5 years, if you hold on to that house for 5 years, um, uh, it's forgiven.
Yeah, that's what I
So
was
in
gonna say.
terms of
Like you
really
don't have to pay.
setting yourself up for um, just I mean, it's up to $150,000
Bro,
in closing
that's
costs and down
that's
payment assistance. So if
that's
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 forgiven, that's huge.
that's
So
reparations. This is how
exactly,
reparations should work, in my opinion.
exactly,
I'm okay with
exactly.
that.
So that's a lot of the questions I begin. So I want to touch base on that so they can see this and they don't have to um, send a DM or they can send a DM on top of that. But
Right.
I've been getting a lot of questions around that.
Yeah, no, dope. Thank you for
Oh
pointing
yeah.
that out because that's
Um,
important. And we have a lot of people that can apply. Like, um, shoot, I'm sure there's people. Yeah, I'm gonna get more people in the fold on that and talking about that
oh
program
yeah.
I need to do a better job of that. So I know a lot of people. I think I just sent someone to Titus this week actually.
Okay, yeah,
So, just trying to get more people involved in that. So yes, the Covenant program. We'll put a link. I'll put a link in the caption if I get a
yeah,
chance because I'm going to be running from this to something else, and I
okay,
won't probably do it until this weekend.
yeah,
But I want to make sure we have links in the comments
for sure,
so that people can go check that program out, man. It's
absolutely,
super dope.
exactly. So
So
yeah, man, let's. I mean, that's it's a dope thing to see. Like if someone could take advantage of it, I know there's trying to find because right now just so people know, like I'm trying to do it right now, and it's trying to
mhm,
find proof of my grandpa. be- One of my grandpas is eligible because he moved. He's from North Carolina, but moved
mhm.
here, in the '60s. So it's like, okay, well we have to find this. Then it's like, okay, well you have to prove he's black, and it's like, look at the picture. He's black. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that. It can't be that. It can't be an idea. You got to find some stuff where
You got because
a
they
birth
put on the birth
certificate.
certificate sometimes, right? They
Yeah, so it's a
used to
birth
put it
certificate,
on
and
the
it is not easy to find a birth certificate from
and them shits be so old and faded anyway.
the
They be
the 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't find a. So it's a that's what I'm looking at right now to try to qualify for it. But try to find a birth certificate for my grandma from the 30s, and you can't. I can't call him an ass. He don't fucking know. So it's like,
yeah.
like that's what we're doing right now. So you can't.
He
They're like,
like,
nah, we
oh
can't
well,
do a picture.
Eloise had it back in the day.
Yeah,
Eloise, she gave the certificate
yeah,
to Irma, and Irma, I don't know what Irma did with that.
man.
That's how
It's
my
like,
that's my family.
bro,
Not all of those names are fictitious, by the way.
but yeah, that's it's easier if you have a parent that might have been born there, but you got a
Yeah.
grandparent. So it's that's what you got to do. But
No, that's dope, man. We'll get more folks tapped into the Covenant program.
yeah,
That's in the state of Washington. It's actually a bill now, so or it's
yeah,
law. So we
yeah,
signed that into law, and that's a thing now. And we are ahead of the curve in terms of reparations. And I am
yeah,
okay with this. It's perfect. I love it. And the reason why they said 1968 is because now I would say maybe they could move that up a little bit because 1968 was the Fair Housing Act, which
mhm,
actually was enacted 4 years after MLK was murdered, so and assassinated. So basically, in response to that, they
yeah,
passed the Fair
yeah,
Housing Act because he was a really staunch fair housing advocate because he
mhm,
knew that that's how people were getting their wealth, and that's why they killed him
yeah,
because they were like
yeah,
he was like, oh, the economic base is fucked up. Like he started talking about that and getting it, and they were
no,
like,
yeah.
yeah, nah, we can't have that. We can't have that. So yeah, man. All right, put me on. What you got, real quick?
Shoot, I know you brought up a protein like 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna
I just had
say,
some protein. Brought that up.
yeah, I've been drinking Nuri. Have you heard of it? It's like an
Mm-mm.
ultra filtered, comes in like a can, 30 grams of protein, but it tastes good. It's not like all the extra added stuff like the super milky thick ones. It's an ultra filtered um, protein. Nurri. It's clean, good ingredients. Um, but yeah, like I recently just swapped out a lot of stuff in my household. Like I just don't like the fact
Oh,
that in the U.S. if I'm in another country, I don't have to worry about eating clean if that makes sense. Here it's yep, those is fire. It's fire.
oh, there's 30 grams of protein in them joints.
It's fire.
Yeah. All right,
But real
Nuri.
clean. I've been having those instead of my regular just away in different scoops of stuff. But yeah, I recently just swapped out everything like because when we're in China, there's so many ingredients that are banned, so you don't got to worry about what you eat. So
Yeah.
I just made a business decision of like favorite snacks my family loves. I switched out their favorite ice creams, their Pringles, their Oreos,
Yep.
um, uh, condiments. Man, I switched out everything in the house, and just so it's like
I love it.
it's one thing if we go out to eat and we're gonna eat bad, but if we're at the house, nah, this is what we're eating. You know what I'm saying? That's a part that I'm gonna play where it's like there's no point in me having certain bullshit in the house. If you are gonna eat bad or have snacks, candy, cookies, chips, this is what we're gonna have. You know what I'm saying? So there's too much
Damn.
added shit in the house, and
Your kid's about to get them lunches that nobody wants. They gonna be
Nah,
trading
their
they
shit's fire. Hey, so like my son loves Pringles, so
yeah,
they have a clean brand. I think it's called the Good Company actually.
bruh.
So it's
Ooh,
like,
okay, okay. Well, let me do
come on,
that then. I'll put you
yeah.
on to the good, yeah, the joints that bruh, the spicy jalapeno joints. Let me see if we're talking about the
So
same thing.
so I haven't tried those ones, but we get the Outback barbecue, sour cream and onion, and the cheddar, all fire,
Bro,
all fire.
oh, yeah, let me put you on. Let me put you on. So okay, good segue on that one cuz the Good Crisp Company, bro, these spicy
Gas.
jalapenos.
So yeah, switch it out for your kids, man. So that's what
I
I'm. So the lunch is still fire.
Hey, I will go out of my way to go get the spicy jalapenos. Like I
They're
literally go to
fire.
the store and they're gone, and I don't even take them inside the house. I keep them in my car
I'm
so no
trying
one
to
else
tell
can eat
you,
them.
bro.
And
They're
the spicy
fire.
jalapeno, bro.
I have that, and then there's a Siete brand. They got tortilla chips. They got actual tortillas. They got, man. We swapped that out too, and I switched out the kids Oreos, ice cream, and my kids love the ice cream. My daughter gets I can't even think of the brands, but my son Jojo, he gets the cookies and cream one still. Timia gets a strawberry crunch and churro, and
Yep.
my daughter gets a unicorn one, and they're fire, but it's clean. Everything's clean, so it's like there's some hacks out there to switch it up, so you don't got to worry about all the extra dyes, preservatives, everything in the food. So I'm gonna put y'all on with that.
All right, I got one more thing to put people on to. And let me bring it up real quick though. It's Vision OS just dropped their S26, just dropped the whatchamacallit, and I want to show people FaceTime because this is what I've been
Downloaded
looking
it.
at.
Let's take a quick look and see what is new. Right off the
So
bat, if I do want to use my phone,
I'm gonna do this, but FaceTime. So he goes. So FaceTime. This is how I haven't used it yet, but I've been following, and my FaceTime avatar is like with this. It's super clean. But this is what FaceTime is in the Vision Pro. So it's literally like you're in the room with the person, and the avatar thing. When I just did mine, it's so real, but no one has Vision OS, so I'm going online and I'm trying to find people to
Yeah.
FaceTime that I don't even know. I'm like, hey, you got the Vision OS? All right, cool. Like, I want to go. Let's FaceTime. Like, I want to try this, but no one has it yet. But when they do, I think what people are getting ready. Well, like he's standing up right there, so he's sitting down, he's standing up,
Yeah, that's
bro.
hard.
When we get in, like your Zoom calls will look like this. We'll be in rooms with Zoom calls, and you're gonna be in. It's gonna feel like you're in the room. That we're talking 5 to 10 years from now, but yeah, this is crazy to me. Like the new version of
Yeah, that's hard.
FaceTime. It's always had this when it first came out, but it was in its early iterations, and so now with
Yeah.
this new OS, they actually just announced that on Monday, I believe, and yeah, it looks so real, bro. Like it before, it was like, yeah, you could tell it was like a weird version of me. But when I jump on calls now, they're gonna be like, yo, that looks actually really like you. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's
When
hard.
you that picture didn't even do it justice, actually. Like it didn't do it justice. So anyway, that's what I got, man. Well, shoot, let's what we got next week. Next week I'll be in Wenatchee. Next week I'll be in Wenatchee, but we might have to record Thursday or something and figure that out
Okay.
because I'll be on the way in Wenatchee. And the week after that, I'll be in Spokane for Hoop Fest,
Yeah.
and I'll be recording live from my room in Spokane for Hoop Fest that next couple weeks. So we got some more in store for y'all, brick by brick. Man, we're gonna get into July, August, and then we'll get into season 2 later on this year. But we'll take August off after that. So
Yep.
hopefully go back. You know, we've been doing this since what, February? That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that, man, y'all be good, brick by brick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.